Alright, good afternoon everyone. Today's speech I'm going to talk to you about the 7 natural wonders of the world. Not to get confused with the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Both, however, are fascinating and they are really, really cool. And the difference between the two, the ancient wonders were man-made, and the natural wonders were created by the earth and Earth's elements. First, the 7 natural wonders of the world are, first of all, the Aurora of Borealis, the Grand Canyon, the Great Barrier Reef, the harbor of Rio de Janeiro, um, Mount Everest, Paricutin, and Victoria Falls. Of these 7, I've been fortunate enough to visit one. It was the Grand Canyon, and it was really, really cool, and it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen, and I urge each and every one of you to travel and visit them. Now, to break them down a little bit, we'll talk about each one individually. The Aurora Borealis is also known as the Northern Lights. It can be seen in the Arctic and Antarctic region. The Grand Canyon, as most of you know, is in Arizona, and it is a gorge that was created by the Colorado River. Excuse me. The Barrier Reef is the world's largest individual formation created by living organisms, so it's pretty cool. It's created by all the fishes and all the sea life. The harbor of Rio de Janeiro was created by the Atlantic Ocean, and it's a bunch of bays and it's stuffed with a bunch of mountains that I imagine have very beautiful sights. Next is Mount Everest. Most of you know is the highest mountain in the world. It has the greatest altitude on Earth's surface, totaling in at 29,029 feet. Paricutin is a cinder cone volcano located in Mexico, and something really interesting about this volcano is that it was the birth was witnessed by a person, like somebody actually saw the whole thing happen, and I would call it dormant. It hasn't erupted since between 1943 and 1952. And then lastly, the Victoria Falls. The falls are truly amazing. They're located in South Africa, and it's the world's largest flat water surface. And then we'll talk briefly about the ancient 7 wonders of the world. And first, we'll talk about the Great Pyramid of Giza, which is what you think about when you think about the pyramids in Egypt. And it's truly amazing. It was created in 2580 BC to 2560 BC. It took 20 years to build, and it was believed to be built for a pharaoh's tomb. And the most interesting thing about this pyramid is that it is still standing. It's largely intact. Of all the other 7s, they're not. And so moving on to the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. This wonder, I would call it a myth mainly. In all my research, everything that I found, nobody really knows what happened. Nobody knows who or where or why or when it was built. It's believed to be built in Iraq, present-day Iraq, and it was believed to be built around 600 BC. The next one would be the Colossus of Rhodes. This was created to celebrate Rhodes' win over the over the ruler of Cyprus, and it is a statue of the Greek Titan god, the son of Helios. And the construction of the statue started in 292 BC. Moving on is a statue of Zeus at Olympia. It's a sitting statue that totals about 43 feet tall, and it was sculpted by a Greek sculptor, and it was created in about 435 BC until its destruction in the 5th century AD, which is truly phenomenal. An ancient thing like that lasted over 1,000 years almost. Then next, moving on to the Temple of Artemis is a Greek temple dedicated to the goddess Artemis. It's located in present-day Turkey, and it was rebuilt 3 times, so its final destruction in 401 AD. Next is the Mausoleum of Halicarnassus. It's located within Turkey, and it opened in 351 BC, and it was demolished in 94 AD. It was approximately 148 feet tall. Moving on to the last one is the Lighthouse of Alexandria, and it was constructed in 280 BC, and it was deactivated in 1303 AD to 1323 AD. It survived 3 earthquakes, and it's truly magnificent. So, of those 7 or 14 locations that I talked about, I strongly urge you guys all, as I stated in the beginning, to try to visit, the 7 natural wonders of the world. It's truly amazing, and it describes breathtaking. Thank you guys all for your time.
Why was it?